I was once a domineering CEO, but my arch-rival Willow Smoke plotted against me until I lay motionless in a hospital bed, forced to abide by the 38-line she drew. It was all because in my moment of vulnerability, she fabricated a lie that we had been dating for 3 years, and I decided to go along with her scheme. A blinding white light pulled me out of the chaos. The sharp smell of disinfectant flooded my nostrils. I struggled to open my heavy eyelids. A dull pain throbbed at the back of my head, as if someone had struck me with an iron hammer. In the hospital room, only the monotonous ticking of the monitor echoed, like a merciless countdown clock. A bold, intrusive female voice suddenly shattered the silence. I stiffly turned my neck. Before my eyes was the exquisite face of Jane Grace, wearing a sharply tailored light blue outfit, her black hair casually tied up, revealing the elegant curve of her neck. I instantly recognized the owner of that face. Willow Smoke, my sworn enemy for 20 years. Willow, since we were kids in tattered shorts, we'd been at odds. She once stole my transforming toy, and I retaliated by tearing up her homework. As we grew up in the cutthroat world of our family businesses, our enmity reached its peak. At this moment, seeing my nemesis by my bedside, a sudden urge to tease her sparked within me. I feigned confusion and asked who she was. Her pupils constricted sharply. Then she flashed a sly, knowing smile. She leaned in close, her warm breath brushing my face, her words freezing me in place. This madwoman dared to call herself my girlfriend. My heart raced like 10,000 galloping horses. But despite my shock, I suppressed the urge to leap up. Pretending to be delighted and surprised, I innocently complimented her beauty, hoping to pry more information. She stood upright, arms crossed, pulled out her phone from her bag, and showed me an intimate photo. In it we stood side by side on a Ferris wheel, her arm linked with mine, her smile radiant. I immediately realized it was from last week's business survey. To blend in at the amusement park, we had to pose as lovers. I never imagined that work-related photo would become her prop to toy with me. When she explained the accident in a detective-like tone, I screamed in silent fury. A flash of memory sparked in my mind. That day, to avoid a little girl who darted out, I swerved sharply, causing the crash. The doctor said you might have temporary amnesia, she said as she pocketed her phone, her tone softening. Don't worry, I'll always be by your side. Her sudden tenderness nearly made me choke on my own saliva. Such acting deserved an Oscar. When the nurse wheeled in the medication cart, Willow Smoke switched to full and devoted girlfriend mode. She naturally took my hand, her voice sugary sweet. Darling, does it still hurt? The young nurse glanced over with admiring eyes. Your girlfriend stayed up all night for you. In my mind, I was screaming hysterically. This plot was spiraling into absurdity. When the nurse left, I realized my fingers were still tightly clasped in hers. Her hands were warm and surprisingly soft, though her fingertips bore calluses from years of work. I was about to pull away, but she gripped tighter, leaning close to whisper a warning not to move, where the foreneedle might shift. Yet her eyes were as gentle as melting water. Her acting was truly masterful. How long have we been dating? I decided to play along. Her lashes trembled slightly, casting shadows on her face. 3 years, 4 months, and 26 days. Her precise answer made my temples throb. When I pressed for details of our romance, she leaned close to my ear, her hair brushing my cheek, tickling it. You chased me relentlessly for 6 months, filling my office with 999 roses. Her ability to twist the truth nearly made me rip out my 4. Clearly it was she who drunk dragged me to dance, ruining my brand new leather shoes. Is that so? I forced a smile, swallowing my retort. She smirked, relishing my stifled frustration. The days that followed were even more outrageous. She showed up dutifully, every day, always carrying an elegant thermal box containing soup simmered for 4 hours by the Smoke family. She carefully blew each spoonful, cool, her focused expression making my heart race unwittingly. Open your mouth. She wouldn't let me protest, pressing the spoon to my lips, with an undeniable air of authority, making me briefly believe we were truly lovers. The hot soup slid down my throat. I mechanically swallowed the meticulously prepared broth, while Willow's lips curled into a triumphant smile. Her victor's posture made me grind my teeth. During a shift change, I suddenly asked where my phone was. The blunt question caught her off guard. The screen's cracked, it's being repaired. Her expression didn't falter. She pulled a brand new phone from her bag. Use this, all your data's synced. The moment I unlocked it, I nearly flung the phone away. The lock screen wallpaper was a photo of me intimately holding her waist. It was definitely photoshopped. We'd never taken such a sappy picture. Taken in the Maldives last year, she said, tilting her head, her hair falling over her pale neck. Like it. I suppressed the twitching in my eyes and growled, love it, darling. That awkward term of endearment made her ears flush red. Flustered, she turned to tidy the bedside table. So this girl could feel shy too. It was like discovering a new continent. One late night after rounds, Willow Smoke suddenly set down a stack of documents. Moonlight cast fragmented shadows on her lashes. Move in with me after you're discharged. I was so shocked I nearly bit my tongue. But she acted as if it were only natural. You need someone to care for you now. Her usually haughty eyes were soft as molten chocolate, making it impossible to tell if she was acting or sincere. That weekend my domineering parents finally returned from Europe. They'd planned to fly back immediately upon hearing of my accident, but learning Willow Smoke was caring for me, my mother bought 3 more Hermes bags before agreeing to return. When the hospital room door swung open, my mother rushed in with bags galore, exclaiming I lost weight. My father meanwhile ignored me entirely, flashing a sly smile at Willow Smoke. Even more terrifying, Willow stood up, suddenly transforming into an obedient daughter. Greetings, Uncle Auntie. This is what I should do. I Derek Farr nearly lost my jaw. Since when did this woman master the art of switching faces? The hospital room turned into a stifling family drama. My mother grabbed Willow's hand, chattering nonsense, as if she'd found a long-lost daughter. When I couldn't hold back and protested, my mother shot me a lethal glare. Adults are talking, kids, stay out of it. Turning back to Willow, she beamed. If this brat upsets you, I'll discipline him for you. Willow's lips curved into an enigmatic smile, her gaze sweeping over me with deep meaning. Derek Farr treats me very well. Her soft delivery of those words made my ears burn. My father seized the moment to elbow my ribs. You finally did something worthwhile, kid. I opened my mouth to explain, but Willow leaned in close, her hair brushing my neck, gently linking her arm with mine. The doctor said 2 more days of observation, then he can be discharged. She looked up docile as a kitten. I'd like to take him to my place to recover. Her bold statement froze me in place. Even worse, my parents chorused their approval with satisfied smiles. My mother clapped Willow's hand, excitedly. That's how it should have been. My father started planning the wedding. How about holding it at Moonlit Manor? I Derek Farr. My eyes darted between the 3 of them, finally blurting out a desperate plea. Have you all forgotten I have amnesia? My mother waved it off, unconcerned. Feelings can be rebuilt. Her resolute attitude left me utterly hopeless. This was the treatment of a son thrown in as a phone plan bonus. On discharge day, the sun blazed brightly. Willow Smoke's dazzling red Porsche was parked at the hospital entrance. She stood by the car door waiting for me, sunglasses covering half her face, but not hiding the triumphant smirk at her lips. As the nurses wheeled me out, she strode forward in 2 quick steps, kissing my forehead in front of the crowd. The sudden intimacy sparked cheers from those around us. I sat in the wheelchair, watching her casually slide into the back seat, handing me a box of premium chocolates. Posing as the model family member, sunlight streamed through the car window, illuminating her flawless cheekbones, tracing soft contours. As she fastened my seatbelt, she spoke without turning, her voice returning to its usual coolness. I obediently buckled up, stealing a glance at her. So we're really going to your place? Her fingers tapped lightly on the steering wheel. What scared? Scared, I scoffed. The word doesn't exist in Derek Farr's dictionary. Is that so? She finally turned, her lips curling into a cryptic smile. Then don't cry later. The car pulled into a high-end downtown condo complex, where property prices would daunt most. The elevator shot straight to the top floor. Willow Smoke unlocked the door, gesturing grandly, welcome home, darling. I stepped inside, and froze. At the entrance hung a photo of us together, snapped covertly at a charity gala. Originally we stood far apart, now edited to look impossibly close. On the living room coffee table sat a pair of couples mugs. On the sofa 2 matching couples pillows nestled together. I pointed at the evidence, speechless. Willow closed the door. her high heels clicking on the marble floor, producing a crisp sound. What don't like our cozy nest? She stepped closer, her faint perfume wafting into my nose. I suddenly noticed she was wearing lipstick today, her lips a captivating cherry red, like an alluring invitation. The bedroom's over there. She pointed to the end of the hall. Your things. I had them moved here. Willow shrugged. Took some essentials from your apartment. Don't worry, I didn't touch your gaming console or precious models. I hurried to the bedroom, pushed open the door, and was stunned again. Clearly this was the master bedroom. On the bed were 2 pillows stirring mixed emotions. On the nightstand was another photo of us together. We're sleeping together. My voice cracked. Willow leaned against the doorframe, smiling slyly. Lovers together for 3 years, living separately. That'd be odd. I swallowed hard. This joke was getting too big. Let me make this clear. Willow suddenly turned serious. Even if you have amnesia, there are rules you can't break. She held up 3 fingers first. Don't disturb me while I'm working second. Clean the bathroom right after using it third. She paused. Don't cross the line. She walked to the bed, drawing an invisible line with her hand. This is the 30th line. Your side, my side. I breathed a sigh of relief, but felt an odd pang of disappointment. Don't worry, I'm not interested in you. The words slipped out and I regretted them instantly. Her eyes narrowed dangerously. She stepped toward me, until my back hit the wall. Is that so? She tilted her head, her red lips dangerously close. Then why is your heart racing? Derek Farr held my breath. She could hear my heartbeat. Side effect of the accident, I rasped. She chuckled and stepped back. Dinner's at 7. Don't be late. She turned and left. I leaned against the wall, trying to steady my breathing. This woman was absolutely doing it on purpose. Our life together was stranger than I'd imagined. Willow Smoke flawlessly played the role of a caring girlfriend. If you ignored that damned 38 line, every morning she prepared breakfast. Usually just toast and coffee, simple fare. She'd pin an elegant tie clip to my suit collar. Then stand on tiptoe, kissing my cheek lightly. Come back early, darling. She'd say, her voice dripping honey. But the moment the door closed, I'd roll my eyes silently, as if her tenderness was an illusion. At the company, aside from major decisions, I didn't manage much. After all, my father was back. His turn to work. Somehow Willow Smoke managed to be a CEO who worked late every day. By the time she returned, I was fast asleep. But waking up each morning, I'd find her curled up on her side of the bed, her long hair splayed across the pillow, like a harmless regal angel. This strange balance lasted a week, until that stormy night. I was in the study handling documents, when a loud crash came from the bathroom, followed by Willow's pained groan. Willow Smoke, I knocked on the bathroom door. You okay? No response. Just the faint sound of running water. Willow Smoke, I raised my voice. I'm coming in. Pushing the door open, hot steam hit my face. Willow was slumped on the floor under the shower, her wet hair plastered to her pale cheeks, her right hand clutching her ankle, her face twisted in pain. Don't come closer. She frantically grabbed a towel to cover herself, but it was too late. My eyes couldn't help but linger on her. Her slender neck, delicate collarbone. Turn away, she ordered weakly, her voice carrying no authority. I quickly turned, my face slightly flushed. Where are you hurt? My ankle, she said, her voice pained. I think it's sprained. Can you stand? No. I took a deep breath, closed my eyes and groped toward the shower, grabbing another towel to wrap around her, then scooped her up. She let out a small yelp, instinctively wrapping her arms around my neck. Don't move, I said softly, carrying her to the bedroom. Willow was much lighter than I'd expected. She curled up in my arms, cold water droplets dripping onto my arm. Where's the first aid kit? I gently set her on the bed. In the cabinet, she said, biting her lip. When I returned with the kit, Willow was wrapped tightly in a blanket, only her flushed face and swollen ankle visible. Let me see. I knelt by the bed, taking her foot. Her foot was small, with a graceful arch, but her ankle was now swollen red. This might hurt a bit. I poured medicinal oil into my palm, gently rubbing it in. Willow inhaled sharply, her nails digging into my shoulder. Gentler. Okay, I eased the pressure, slowly massaging the bruise. Her skin was smooth and warm, the scent of the oil filling the air. Willow's breathing gradually steadied, but her fingers still clung tightly to my shirt. Better? I looked up, Meeting her watery eyes, she quickly turned away, her cheeks flushed. "Yeah, better, thanks." As if remembering something, she added. I couldn't help but laugh. Even Miss Smoke can be shy. "Shut up." She grabbed a pillow and threw it at me. "Tonight you sleep on the couch." "On what grounds?" I caught the pillow. "I'm your lifesaver." "You?" She glared at me furious. "You saw." I raised an eyebrow. "Saw what?" It was obvious. I didn't see anything clearly. Of course that was a lie. Even that fleeting glimpse was etched in my mind. Willow looked at me skeptically. Really? Really? I lied without blinking, then leaned closer, mimicking her earlier tone. But I didn't expect Miss Smoke to have such a great figure. Her face turned crimson. She grabbed another pillow and threw it. "Derek Farr, you're dead." I laughed, catching it, suddenly realizing this was the first time we'd bantered like friends, not enemies locked in fierce rivalry. After that day, something quietly shifted between me and Willow Smoke. The 38 line became meaningless. In her sleep she began, unconsciously inching toward my side. At first just an arm draped over, then her whole body nestled into my arms, like a kitten seeking warmth. Strangely, I grew accustomed to this closeness. Each night before sleep, the faint jasmine scent from her lingered in my nose, bringing an inexplicable sense of calm. One weekend night, thunder woke me. Outside rain poured like a deluge, lightning illuminating the sky, casting light on the face in my arms. Willow Smoke frowned, as if even in her dreams the thunder disturbed her. Her lashes trembled slightly, her red lips parted, her breath brushing my collarbone. As if possessed, I leaned down and kissed her forehead. Willow Smoke, the formidable woman, not only didn't pull away, but burrowed deeper into my embrace. This action shattered my rationality. I traced down her nose, finally reaching her soft lips. At first it was just a light touch, but in her sleep Willow responded, her lips parting slightly, inviting me further. Just as I was about to lose control, Willow suddenly opened her eyes. Our gazes locked, her pupils widened in the dark, filled with shock. I thought she'd push me away, slap me, or even kick me out of the room. But no, Willow only blinked, then closed her eyes again, deepening the kiss herself. That night the boundary between us blurred completely. The next morning, sunlight streamed through the curtains onto the bed. When I woke, Willow was no longer beside me. The sheets still held her warmth and scent, reminding me last night wasn't a dream. Leaving the bedroom, I saw Willow busy in the kitchen, wearing my dress shirt, its hem just covering her thighs, revealing her long slender legs. Hearing my footsteps, she turned, her cheeks slightly flushed. Morning. I stepped behind her, naturally wrapping my arms around her waist, kissing behind her ear. Her body stiffened, but she didn't pull away. "The eggs are about to burn," she reminded softly, her voice trembling. I chuckled and let her go. "Need help?" "No need," she shook her head, her ears red as if bleeding. "You just sit and wait." At the breakfast table, neither of us mentioned last night, but the atmosphere was clearly different. Willow proactively served me more food. I wiped jam from the corner of her lips. This seamless intimacy felt like we'd been together for years. One morning, the phone's ring woke me. The screen flashed a name I hadn't seen in ages. Snowfrost, my first girlfriend. After college, she studied abroad in the UK. We hadn't spoken in 3 years. "Hello," I hesitated, answering. "Derek Farr." Her familiar voice came through. "I'm back, in the country. Heard you had an accident. How are you now?" I instinctively glanced toward the bedroom, lowering my voice. "I'm fine. Minor injuries." "When did you get back?" "Yesterday, just landed." Snowfrost's voice was excited. "Let's grab a meal. I have so much to tell you." I was about to respond, when a throat-clearing sound came from behind. Turning, I saw Willow Smoke standing at the bedroom door, still in my dress shirt, leaning lazily against the frame, holding a coffee mug, her eyes cold as ice. "Who's that calling so early?" She deliberately spoke loudly, her voice devoid of its usual sweetness. On the other end, Snowfrost clearly paused. "Derek Farr. Is someone with you?" "It's me, his girlfriend." Willow stepped forward, snatching the phone. "Hello, who might you be?" I watched Willow's expression shift from a fake smile to genuine, then darken completely. "Miss Frost, is it?" She smiled without warmth. "Derek Farr's recovering. Afraid he doesn't have time to reminisce." With that she hung up, tossing the phone back to me. "What was that?" I frowned. Willow crossed her arms, the shirt's collar slightly open, revealing her snow-white skin. What, feeling sorry for her? She's a college friend. Just a friend. Just a friend. Willow sneered. You saved her as Frosty in your contacts. Pretty close, huh? I then realized she'd seen my contact list. That was her old nickname. Forgot to change it. Willow narrowed her eyes, suddenly leaning down, hands bracing around me. Her long hair fell across my face, carrying the faint scent of her shampoo. Derek Farr, she said slowly, deliberately. You're supposed to have amnesia. Shouldn't you forget certain college friends? I was speechless. This woman dared use my own lie against me. With that, she stood, turned, and walked to the bedroom. No breakfast today. Fend for yourself. Bang. The bedroom door slammed shut. I scratched my head, somehow finding the scene familiar. Like when we were kids, and she saw me talking to another girl. Snowfrost still managed to meet me. Somehow she got hold of my schedule, appearing suddenly in the company lobby. Derek Farr. She stood there in a white dress, her smile as gentle as ever. I stiffly approached Snowfrost. Long time no see. You haven't changed a bit. She looked me up and down. Except for this. She pointed to a small scar on my forehead. Minor injury, I smiled. You've gotten prettier. That was true. 3 years abroad had stripped away her youthful naivety, adding a touch of maturity. Heard you have a girlfriend now, Snowfrost said suddenly. The one who answered the phone this morning. I nodded, feeling inexplicably guilty. Yeah, Willow Smoke. Willow Smoke of the Smoke Corporation. Snowfrost's eyes widened. Isn't she your rival? It's a long story. Snowfrost smiled knowingly. I get it. A business, marriage. I was about to deny it, when I caught a glimpse of a familiar red shadow. Willow Smoke's Porsche slowly pulled into the plaza outside the company. It's not a business marriage. Some wire in my brain short, and I blurted, we're really in love. Snowfrost's expression froze for a moment, but she quickly smiled again. Then congratulations. But she leaned close, whispering in my ear, if you're ever single again, give me a call. The proximity was too close, close enough to smell her perfume. I was about to step back, when a cold voice rang out behind me. Derek Farr. The meeting's starting. Turning, I saw Willow Smoke standing behind me, in a sharp black business suit, her red lips like fire, her eyes sharp as knives. CEO Smoke. Snowfrost extended a hand politely. I've heard so much about you. Willow glanced at it, with no intention of shaking. Miss Frost, right? She smiled without warmth. Heard you studied MBA at Cambridge. Yes. Snowfrost withdrew her hand, her smile unwavering. Perfect. Willow pulled a file from her bag. Our company's hiring an investment manager. If you're interested, Miss Frost, take a look. Snowfrost froze. I was stunned too. Willow Smoke was offering a job to her rival. Thank you for the offer. Snowfrost quickly regained composure. But if accepted a position at Goldman Sachs. That's a pity. Willow's smile was fake. She turned to me. Derek Farr. Well, I'll be late. She naturally adjusted my tie, a gesture dripping with possessiveness. Miss Frost, until next time. I hurriedly said goodbye, following Willow into the elevator. As the doors closed, she shook off my hand. Standing in the opposite corner, mad, I probed. What did I do to make you mad? She sneered. Meet whoever you want. Then why did you come here on purpose? Coincidence? She stared at the elevator numbers. I'm just here for the meeting. Liar, I smirked. This jealous woman was kind of adorable. After the meeting, Willow drove off without a glance. I stood at the company entrance, watching her red Porsche speed away, and reluctantly called a taxi home. Back at the condo, it was pitch dark. I flicked on the light, finding a takeout meal on the dining table, already cold. Next to it was a sticky note. Reheat it yourself. 3 sharp words, the handwriting fierce enough to tear the paper. I smiled, putting the food in the microwave, then knocked on the bedroom door. Willow didn't answer. I pushed the door open, seeing her lying on her side facing away, motionless as if asleep. But I knew she was pretending. When nervous, her shoulders tensed, just like now. I reheated the food, I said, walking to the other side of the bed. Eat together. Willow kept her eyes closed, her lashes trembling. Not hungry. Then I won't eat either. I sat on the bed's edge, without a certain someone. Food tastes bland. Willow snapped her eyes open, glaring. Derek Farr. Stop playing games. What games? I blinked innocently. You clearly remember Snowfrost. She sat up, her hair slightly mussed, still pretending to fool me. I touched my nose. At first my memory was a bit foggy. Liar, she grabbed a pillow and threw it. You were toying with me. I caught it, taking her wrist in the process. And you? Why pretend to be my girlfriend when I lost my memory? Her face flushed red, struggling to pull her hand back. I just what? I leaned closer. Our noses almost touching, just couldn't stand my arrogance. She turned away, her ears blazing red. Wanted to mess with you a bit, just messing with me. I chuckled, my thumb brushing her wrist. Then why get so mad seeing me with Snowfrost? Who's mad? Willow whipped her head back, nearly bumping my nose. I don't care who you meet. Her words were cut off. As I kissed her, this kiss was different from last night, carrying a hint of punishment. I lightly bit her lower lip. When she gasped in pain, I deepened the kiss. At first, she pushed against my chest, but soon clutched my collar, pulling me closer. When the kiss ended, we were both breathless. Derek Farr, her voice trembled. Are we crazy? Maybe. I pressed my forehead to hers, but I don't want to stop. Willow suddenly laughed, a radiant smile I'd never seen. You know, she said, I've hated you since we were kids. I nodded solemnly. Me too, you were always outstanding, always dazzling. Her fingers brushed my face. I hated how you stole everyone's attention, so you always opposed me. She glared. What should I have fawned over you like other girls? I couldn't resist kissing her again. And now, she stood on tiptoe, whispering in my ear, I think I hate you even more. Why's that? Because you made me wait so long. Her voice held a trace of grievance. I waited 20 years for you to figure it out. My heart skipped a beat. Willow Smoke, you mean? I liked her, Derek Farr. She looked into my eyes, each word clear. For a very, very long time, I was stunned, my mind blank. The woman who once made me grind my teeth was now blushing, confessing to me. In kindergarten, I stole your toy because I wanted your attention. Her voice grew softer. In elementary school, I tore your homework because you helped another girl, not me. In high school, I sabotaged your date because I was jealous. I couldn't help interrupting. Willow punched me angrily. Shut up. I mimed, zipping my lips, gesturing for her to continue. When we took over the family businesses, she sighed. I thought I could finally compete fairly, but every time I saw you at business galas, my palms would sweat from nerves. So all those confrontations were a facade. She gave a bitter smile. I was afraid you'd mock my true feelings. I took a deep breath, lifting her face. Willow Smoke, know why I always clashed with you? She shook her head. Because only when we argued would you look at me with those sparkling eyes. I said softly, otherwise you were always cold, like I wasn't worth your notice. Her eyes widened. You mean you liked me too? Fool. I pressed my forehead to hers. Maybe even earlier than you think. Her eyes reddened. Derek Farr, you're such a jerk. Yeah, I'm a jerk. I kissed the tear at her eye's corner. So will you take in this jerk before I go ruin someone else? Willow laughed through her tears. Seeing how sincere you are, I'll reluctantly consider it. Consider for how long? A lifetime enough. I couldn't hold back, pushing her onto the bed, kissing her deeply. This time, no pretense, no lies, just two hearts facing each other honestly. Willow's pupils contracted slightly. Then she flashed a sly smile. So when Snowfrost approached with champagne, her smile a bit strained, you two played your roles so well, it became real. Willow linked her arm with mine, chin raised triumphantly, as you can see. Congratulations, Snowfrost, said sincerely. You two are perfect together. As she walked away, Willow pinched my waist. Your eyes were practically glued to her. Jealous, I chuckled, holding her tight. Not at all, she huffed. Anyway, you're mine now. Always have been, I whispered in her ear. Since kindergarten? Her face flushed again. This side of her, if her business rivals saw it, their jaws would drop. Oh right, she suddenly remembered. Do your parents know you faked amnesia? I sheepishly rubbed my nose. Haven't told them. Derek Farr, her eyes widened. You lied to your own parents. Didn't I do it to play along with you? I blinked innocently. Besides, if you hadn't pretended to be my girlfriend during my amnesia, would we be here today? Willow thought for a moment, then burst into laughter. Fair point. She stood on tiptoe, kissing my lips lightly. Then let's keep this secret between us. Deal. I deepened the kiss, ignoring the cheers from the crowd around us. Life is like a play, all thanks to acting, but some feelings were never an act. Life goes on with Willow Smoke by my side, each day a new chapter,